We're going to get an update on the Tangerine SDR project, which really should have been out like 2 years ago, but due to production parts issues that have affected everyone around the world, we're not immune to that. So we're going to hear from Scotty today to give us an update on the Tangerine SDR project, Personal Space Weather Station. This is the one that's not the low-cost one.
Correct. This is the high-cost, high-value.
High-cost, high-value, more versatile, more features, more add-ons to it. So we're going to take a look at that right now.
Okay, well, I'm not sure where to start other than we really have three pieces to the Tangerine SDR: the data engine, the RF module, and the clock module. And the clock module and the RF module we've had success in buying parts for. We have parts for all of the 25 prototypes. The data engine, we have parts for everything, but we are missing one part, the FPGA, which is something we can't get, and it's looking like we might not get that for another year. So we've got to come up with a contingency plan. But at any rate, today I wanted to show you a set of boards here. This is a panel of 5 RF modules, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are grooved so they can, after they're manufactured, after they're assembled, they'll be cut up, they'll be broken apart, and they'll end up with being 5 boards. And the clock module is also in production right now. This is in process right now. The boards didn't come in before I left for HamSCI, so this is the one I have to show. But by the end of the month, we will have 25 copies of each of these and the clock modules. Okay. They'll be complete.
Perfect. Good.
And then the data engine, what we're planning to do is we are going to build an adapter board that will plug onto an off-the-shelf development platform that you can buy. And right now you can't buy the development platform boards either. However, we were sneaky about 6 months ago and we managed to acquire about a dozen of them. So now we have the boards in stock, and all we need is an adapter board that will allow us to plug these and the clock modules into the adapter board, which will then plug into the off-the-shelf development board. And once that's complete, then we'll be able to test, because the development board has the same FPGA on it that we can't get. So we'll be able to write test code and verify the operation of the RF modules and the clock modules using this interim adapter board that we're going to make. And then when the data engine finally comes out, when we get the FPGAs, we can toss the the adapter board, and then use the real data engine and plug things together.
Gotcha. Okay. So what's this other one down? What's this one right here?
This one is a production grade magnetometer. Tapper has done about 5 prototypes of various kinds with the connector facing different ways, and this is the final one. The Tapper board is authorized to production of 250 sets of these boards, and again we're waiting on a part that now is scheduled to be available the 2nd of May. So with any luck, we've pre-ordered all the other parts. They're in stock. The PC boards are going to be ordered so that they'll all be in stock waiting for the May 2nd date. So assuming that part shows up, hopefully by HamVision we will have boards to bring to sell. And so the way we did this board actually is we learned a lot, let's say, on the first 4 prototypes. This is a Rev E, so this is the 4th version. But we learned a lot, and we learned how to cut the cost down. And if you notice on here, there's no parts on the back, and on the front, they're only surface mount parts. And what we're going to include is we call it a bag o' parts, which is all of the through-hole parts, some of which go on each board, because this is actually a board set. Okay. And it's used to plug onto a Raspberry Pi and extend the I2C interface that goes to the magnetometer device itself, which plugs on these connectors here, extends that device out 100 meters out into your yard, where it's away from all magnetic interference and house wiring and ballasts and things like that. So you use the same board twice. You mount a magnetometer on the remote board, and then you put a Raspberry Pi header on the local board and plug it onto your Raspberry Pi, and then connect it with Cat5 cable, and you have a complete system. And so the idea being that we'll let you do the through-hole soldering, because hams can do that, and that's very expensive to do that in the U.S. So we get this board. This board is actually going to be built in Arizona, onshore, no offshore stuff, because there's no through-hole parts, which would require it to come out of the production and then set at a human's desk and with a soldering iron, and they would solder these parts in. That makes it very expensive, but that's something the hams can do. So we'll cut the price down accordingly so that the hams can more easily afford it.
Good.
And our target price for a pair of the boards and the bag of parts is going to be around $100. We're trying to keep it under $100, but the first build may end up going a little bit over.
Well, until it gets into production, that makes sense, though, right? So
yeah. And then we'll see how it goes. If it's very popular, universities buy it, and the volume goes up, then maybe we can make it cheaper, and we'll do that, because we're not really in this to make money. We're in this to advance the state of the radio art at reasonable prices. So.
Perfect.
And I'd also like to mention, too, that on the Tangerine, we've gotten a grant from ARDC, and they have been the ones to help us be able to do the data engine adapter, because that was an extra step that we didn't plan on doing. And so they actually funded that for us. And so they allowed us to continue on in spite of the awful supply chain issues that we're facing.
So we should see a non-working prototype by Dayton and hopefully a working prototype by DCC.
Right, and actually it could technically be a working prototype, but if we do have all the three pieces, they probably will not. We won't have software by then.
Right.
But we'll be able to plug it together, and I guess the temptation will be for me to add some LEDs on the data engine adapter, so that at least you can say, hey, look, it's doing something. We've got hardware that works, and we're working on the firmware to make it into a radio.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks, man. This has been an interesting project. I know it's taken longer than you wanted, but I've enjoyed following you along and seeing how it's progressing. So I'll definitely catch up with you in Dayton and see what
also
the status is.
At the DCC in September, we will almost certainly have working prototypes there, because that's enough time for us to have the whole summer to get things rolling.
Perfect. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.